Slippery.
Woo! Powered down before the... Good afternoon. We parked up on the A5, a couple of miles from Corwin. I've been going about half an hour, and we've probably got about an hour of forest walking to do before we break out onto the hillside, which is about half of the walk. So it'll only take a couple of hours to do this single Nuttall that we're doing today, which is we're not doing it in the same way as the Nuttalls book. We're doing it in a just as a single top. So this is the most northern and eastern outpost of the Berwyns, Moel Fferna, and I'm not expecting too much, which is why I thought it would be good to maybe spend a few minutes going back to earlier in the week when I was planning the walk. So let's zip back a couple of days in time and talk you through how I plan my route. Right then, let me talk you through quickly how I go about planning my route in the mountains, and I do this on the OS Maps website. I've got to pay an annual subscription so that I can access the maps for the UK, and it also lets me access the maps on my phone. So everything I do on my computer I can save and it appears on my phone, which is fantastic. And what the route is like in the Nuttalls book is to come from Gwynedd here up to Moel Fferna, across to pick up another top there, and then back down to Gwynedd. And I don't like the look of that particularly, mostly because of this long walk, which is largely pathless alongside a fence, which the book describes as not very exciting. So I'm looking instead at coming from this side over here and to come up this side and across to Moel Fferna, make it a short half-day walk and pick up this second top on a different day. So now I've got the route roughly plotted on there. Let's zoom in and see if we can adjust the route to follow the map a bit better. And you can see once you get a bit closer, there's alternative paths that we can follow, which will shorten the distance a little bit. Right, so what I tend to do now is, rather than adjusting it too much, looking at the paths on the map, is to do all the fine tuning on the aerial view, because that way you can make sure that the path actually follows as it is on the ground. And there we go, you can see that the map is now snapping, the route, sorry, is snapping to the path. Great, okay, there we have our route plotted. The next step is decide where we are going to park, and to do that I look at Google Maps. If you can, sometimes you can pick things out on the satellite view, but there's nothing obvious here, and so I'm going to zip through the village on the street view and see if I can find somewhere to leave the car or the bike. There we go, nice big lay-by where I can leave the car or the bike or the van even for the day while I go for the walk. So the final thing to show you is the 3D fly-through, which is a really useful way of getting an idea of the steepness of the terrain that you're dealing with. There we go, hope that has proved useful. Let us get back to the hill. Yeah, it was a lot nicer this morning than I expected it to be. The forecast was quite cloudy first thing, wasn't it? And when I pulled back the curtains, it was lovely. Finally breaking out into the open, and behind me over there is Llansilio mountain. I think there's 4 tops that we did a couple of days ago. Started out nice, ended up getting drowned. Almost not far off 3,000 feet of ascent in the route we did, so it was a good walk out.
Quite, what's the word? Not undulating, it's quite gradual, slow.
Yeah, it's an easy gradient, isn't it? Yeah. Not too bad. It feels very Berwyny. You've got this fairly featureless...
No bog.
Berwyns, but no bog. That's definitely a good... now you've said that though. We'll probably fall knee deep into one in a minute.
No, only a little bit. On one of the mountain that is over there.
Oh yeah, a hint of snow. All disappeared overnight.
Get off! Sorry, there's only cutting in here. It's not the book, I thought it was a wasp.
Paul's just being attacked. We were just discussing that on the left hand side here there's loads of trees. Birches, we think, covering the hillside, and they all seem a similar age, so I'm wondering whether they've been deliberately planted here to try and restore the area a bit to what it would have been like had we not intervened and cleared everything. So it'll be fascinating to come back here in 20 years time and see if this is totally changed. Pop that in your diary. I'm still alive in 20 years. Paul, you remember that?
What?
20 years time we'll pop back.
Oh yeah, I might have to bring my wheelchair or something.
Oh, you'll be 80 then, won't you?
Yeah, I might have to be
It's Paul's birthday.
a walking frame.
We should sing happy birthday to him when we get to the top, really. Yeah, it's not today, isn't it?
No.
Is it tomorrow or day after? Day after.
No, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I don't even know what day it is today.
That's ages away, yeah. 59 for a little while, yes. Right, we've just got ourselves wrapped up because the just started hailing. There's a great big cloud above us and we don't want to get wet. And we're very near the top, I think. Let me turn me around and show you where we're going. Well, from down the bottom when we turned onto this path, it looked really short. It felt like we were nearly at the top. And it just keeps going on and on and on. A never-ending path to the top. It might be because we got layered up when it was threatening to drown us in that hail shower earlier, which amounted to next to nothing in the end. Always the way, if we'd not got our layers on, we would have got soaked. Yeah, might be because we're going slow, because we don't want to get too hot. But we're coming to another potential false summit, but surely we can't be far away now. At last, we've reached the top. Quick panorama for you. Let's start out over that way towards Fantasia Mountain and Moel Fferna. Talk about that in a minute. There's Triffin over there. Eggs and all those showers before we get to the main Berwyn ridge. Woo. And there's a Paul down there. He's a reasonably tame human being.
Chilly.
Superb. So we've just been talking about, if you're from Liverpool, pretty much the first mountain you ever do is a hill called, well, we used to call it Moel Fferna when we were growing up. And then over time we realised that an F in Welsh is a V, and so it became Moel Fferna. And only just discussing it now, we think that AU isn't U, it's I, so it'll be Moel Fferna.
Yeah, Moel Fferna.
So my entire life I've been pronouncing it completely wrong. Yeah, hopefully I'll get my pronunciations a bit better. This one, Moel Fferna, I think is quite straightforward. Anyway, let's say get Daisy out while it's quiet. It's been packed up here, been rammed, hasn't it? There was a whole...
I've seen at least one person.
There's a whole one other person there. And so she's headed off down the hill now, so it's Daisy time. Let's get Daisy to do a quick tour of the summit. Over to you, Sausage. Right, thank you Daisy for that. Time to head back down, going back down the same way as we went up, so won't feel too much. I'll catch you a bit further down the trail. Right, we're just re-entering the forest, making good progress on the way down. Moel Fferna. Do you know, it's a great beginner's Nuttall, I would say. If you're looking to get out to do one of your first mountains, this is a really good one to do. It's navigation is quite straightforward, but there's a bit of navigation to do, some junctions and paths to work out where to go. There's no real steep gradients, it's really straightforward. Paths are easy to follow, don't disappear at any point. And at the top there's a wind shelter and some great views, so yeah, highly recommend it as a beginner's Nuttall or a half-day walk. We've really enjoyed it. So I'm going to call it a day here, because the rest of the walk really is back through the forest. Not too exciting. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and look forward to seeing you on the next one, all being well. Ta-ra for now.